Everybody, welcome to the podcast again. I have a very special guest with me today, Saahil Baxi, the man himself. The reason I am in podcasting is because I went to a JV speaker conference where I was told, hey, if you want to bring value to somebody immediately, start a podcast. And the example used was Sahil. This man has 17 years old, has a podcast, Future Millionaires. He's a TEDx speaker. He's helping, what's the mission? 1,000 young adults to put in $100 a month into a Roth IRA, right?
Yep.
And in order for them to have a future. So this man, he's not even 20 yet, and he's already accomplished more than most people have into like their 30s and stuff. So I'm not going to take any more from Sahil. Let's get into it, my man. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. It's a real honor.
Abs Absolutely, Max. Thank you so much, and I appreciate that introduction. Yes, I am not even an adult yet. Only 17, and I've already, done these, achieved these things. I've been pretty successful in my podcast as well, Future Millionaires. And yeah, my main mission and goal with that is I want to share that knowledge of saving and investing just $100 every single month. And I want to help, at least 1,000, teenagers or young adults, achieve that dream that they usually have of becoming a millionaire for themselves. So that is definitely, that's my goal with there.
It's huge, man. Just the fact that you're not even 20 yet. And most people say, okay, you're an adult when you're 18, right?
Mhm.
And that's when they start trying to act like an adult. But you're taking it as like, no, that's the point when, yeah, you're basically independent, if you want to put it that way. But you're already doing all this stuff that everybody, like, if they want to be successful and they want to get at it, you're already doing that stuff. So, huge inspiration, dude. So, this podcast, as I'm getting more episodes in, I have three main questions. So, the first question is for you personally, what is the key to success for you?
Of course, and that's a great question, Max. My take on that is probably clarity and consistency. So, first is clarity, being, understanding what exactly you're going after, clarifying in your head so you're not, having any sort of misconceptions in your head or any doubts. You want to make sure that you clear those out beforehand before you actually start taking action. And then second is the consistency part of it. Now, it sounds pretty cliche, but it is one of those stepping stones. It is one of those keys to success is being consistent and making sure that you're taking on those actions every single day.
And what's interesting, dude, is that yes, like people have said, be consistent, stuff like that. But the point of clarity with consistency, because of how easy it is for us to get distracted from our missions, our goals, that if we have this like big old goal and we're like, okay, I'll do this thing, I'll be consistent with it. If it's not clear, then we can be consistent for a little bit, but then it falls apart. And I think that's the secret of consistency is like you have to keep it really obvious so that even when you're bogged down, you're like, no, it's this thing. And
Absolutely.
that I think is what makes that special, that angle. It's not just consistency, it's that clarity. Um, Now, a lot of people might watch this podcast and say, you're only 17, what kind of past could you have? But I mean, look at your accomplishments. You obviously have a past. So this next question is, what is your relationship with failure?
Awesome. And I really love that you're asking me that. I feel so connected with that because this is something that I have taken on or something I have experienced very, very frequently, or at least through when I went through my training and finally got to that point where I was like, okay, now it's time to start building my skill set. And one of them was every single day for a certain amount of months. I was going out every single day. I was cold calling or cold knocking on businesses.
Oh, dude.
So I was meeting a lot of new people, and my entire point of it was to, seek rejection. When you hear that, when you hear what you're hearing currently, it might sound like where is this guy going?
Yeah,
He's going off
yeah,
topic.
dude. Yeah, what?
But no, actually, it's the point of it was that like that failure of getting told no, like that fear of, when you ask when I was asking for something, their their immediate response would be something like no, they would reject me. And beginning doing that, starting that off, it was, of course, it hurt. It was really, really painful and it stung a lot getting told no. No one likes getting told no. But all of those setbacks, those no's, rejections, all that failure that I went through when I was doing that training, it was a chance to course correct myself and kind of, help refine my approach. So I see, failure as an opportunity to, learn and pivot and push forward with even more clarity and determination because every time you fail over and over, you're going to learn something new through that challenge. And we mentioned this previously on my podcast, but you familiarize yourself each time, every time you fail. And something that I've also learned is you have to get in love with, failing. And that's what you said, right? That's what you
Yeah,
said.
yeah.
So I learned from the best. Exactly.
Dude.
But I failed so many times, but those experiences are kind of the ones that, have shaped me into who I am today. So if you're not failing, then you're probably not pushing yourself hard enough. But it's something that you have to take on, have to get comfortable with because it's going to happen. It's a part of growth and it's a lesson for you.
Dude, what I love about that, because this was your TEDx talk, right? Like this idea and
I
this and
guess.
yeah, bro. What's crazy is that most people have to they develop a good relationship with failure out of necessity, right? Something crazy goes down in their life and it's really rough and they learn from it. It builds them up, right? But very few people, and this is the point I really want to get across with this podcast, my overall mission, right? Is exactly what you did, which is to go out and familiar. You went looking for failure, which is crazy. People see that and they watch videos on that and they read on that, and it's really easy to say, "Oh, dude, that's freaking awesome! Like I love that," but it's really scary to go out and do it. And the fact that you did it, and what I love is that you call it training. Like that, when you said training earlier, I was thinking like, oh, you went to a week long seminar. And I was like, no, like, I went out and I freaking went cold calling, cold knocking. I was just rejected. It's like this is real world experience by 17. Like what?
Yeah, I know. I can't believe it myself. I never would have expected to really get into that sort of, training or, conditioning myself. So, I mean, it was totally unexpected and, it was my dad really that I have to give the credit to because, without his guidance, I really wouldn't be at the level that I am right now. So I do want to, pay my thanks to my dad. I'm very, very, very grateful of, the guidance that he's put me on, and the path that he's putting me on right now, and it's just so amazing.
Yeah, man. Just so everybody can know that's watching, right? So I got to spend some time with the Baxi family before the conference started. Went to dinner, and then afterwards was like ice cream, right? And it had freaking nothing to do with the conference in terms of the stuff we learned, but the Baxi family. The If you are interested in learning business, social media, how to get on a TEDx stage, reach out to this family. And I say the whole family because all of you are a part of that ecosystem. But Manesh, your dad, he got me through the door of not even, it wasn't even like taking the pathway to starting a business. It was the mindset. It was this mindset shift that he got on a call with me really just to get me to go to the conference, even if it was gonna like be free. Like even if I paid nothing ultimately, he was like, get yourself through that door to change your life. So I digress. Your family's awesome. I'm just saying. Very dope. Um, so to get to the next question, this one, it's hard for people. It doesn't matter even if you're 30. So I'm close to 30. I'm 27 now. Just because Sahil has done this by 17 doesn't mean that you can't. Even if you're older now, you don't need to be younger than this bro in order to be on his trajectory. So it really goes for anybody that hasn't accomplished their goals yet, dude. So it's a pretty huge audience. But in any case, what's your advice to people that see themselves as I want to be like you, right? I want to be uh, successful in whatever it is I get after and failing and stuff. What is your advice, dude?
Absolutely. And thank you so much for asking that. My response to that, I'd say, start with your vision, of course. Start with your vision, but embrace the flexibility. And what I mean by that is like, you know where you're going, but be open to the unexpected paths that will take you there. So don't be afraid to, try new things, even if they push you outside your comfort zone a little bit. So every experience, good or bad, teaches you something valuable, and those lessons will make your journey more fulfilling. And, above all, don't forget that the importance of relationships, community and collaboration are key to accelerating your growth. Like every single day, I am taking action to connect with. My goal is 30, reach out to 30 like make 30 LinkedIn requests and make 30 Facebook friend requests. And these are people all around my mom, my sister, my dad's network base. So it makes it a little easy, but it's just to, grow my network. It's to, grow my relationships and make new ones as well. So I've I've reached out to some people on LinkedIn and I've just like I don't know who they are. I don't know who they are at all. They're pretty much a stranger to me, but they're connected with my mom or my dad or my sister. So it's not like they're a complete and total stranger that I just, connected with on LinkedIn. So it's a little easier there. But I still really like I don't know them personally, but I choose to, or I take the time to invite them on my podcast. They accept, and I have them on, and we have a great time. So I'm trying to just make new connections and build new relationships with people, because connections and relationships are such an important part in success. And if you want to get to where I am in my shoes, connections and making a network of people is very valuable, and it can be amazing. Because actually, and I'm this is a great story, or in a sense, it's a great story. And I've told it a couple times because my dad thinks it's just like so cool. But there was this lady on LinkedIn. She is connected with my mom, so I'm gonna be connected with her. And I invited her onto my podcast, and I thought she would accept, but no, she actually didn't. But she was actually really kind enough to refer me to a couple of people that she think would be a great addition to the podcast. And one of those referrals that she gave to me, his name is Zoltan Nagy. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. But he is the owner of a bar in Budapest, Hungary. And the most interesting thing about that connection was the fact that he owns a bar. It's called Boutique Bar, and it had a spot in one of the 50 best bars in the world. Apparently,
That's crazy.
he had a spot on a website like 50 best places in the world. So his bar managed to grab a spot in, one of the best bars in the world, top 50. And I was like, "What? Really?
Yeah,
That's amazing." And
crazy.
I had, the pleasure and honor of connecting with him. So those connections, making those connections, even if they might seem small and maybe they might seem pointless, you know, they can get you and open doors that you would have never ever expected. Like I would have never expected to meet a bar or an owner of a bar who had a bar that is like, one of the best bars in the world. That's really insane. That's really cool. And it's just you can't stress it enough. Those It's the importance of building new relationships, building those relationships, building that trust with them, and building a community and collaborating with others, and making new connections every day. It's just so important. I know I went on a rant, but I think
No, dude.
it really just emphasizes in how important that is.
Exactly. And the funny thing is like that it wasn't even a rant by virtue of the fact that the message was the same throughout the whole thing. And it was I mean, at the conference, your dad said it and it's been on my mind ever since. It's like your network is your net worth, right?
Hmm.
Which is
Correct.
just this idea of nobody picks himself up by their bootstraps and like succeeds in life entirely by themselves. We all stand on the shoulders of giants, right? And those giants are really just our connections.
Absolutely.
It totally changes it that it's this one person, they could be super smart, really brilliant. They got $1 million idea and they're just in the cold because they refuse to put in the work to build a community, you know? And then somebody else who they don't even know what they got to give, but they have such a strong community that they're able to reach out and connect with people and all build success together. It's a interesting uh life to it, you know?
Hmm.
So and the thing is that again, everybody can see that you're 17, you are already successful because of that principle. So if you want to be successful, grow your network. So that's fantastic, dude. Thank you for that. Before we run out, do you mind just talking a little bit about your mission?
My mission, of course. And my mission is everyone's heard a little nitbit of it, but I'm really trying, and my mission is really trying to connect with that younger audience, teenagers, people kids my age, or young adults even. Um, and I really want to, along with my podcast Future Millionaires as well, where I have guests who are taking their time to also help that young generation and inspire them so they can achieve that wealth and success that they desire. So it's like it's me, and then also on top of that, it's guests like like Max that I had on previously. So these people are joining me on my mission as well. I'm really glad to have these guests on my podcast because they are in it and on it too. They're helping those future millionaires. And it also goes along with my TEDx talk as well. I'm also trying to tap into that demographic of the young audience, because I think knowing as I am a young person, it wouldn't make sense if I was doing it like what 40 or something. But since I'm 17 and knowing the day we're in right now or the time we're in right now, I want to take advantage of while being young. I want to connect and touch other teenagers and young adults' hearts to help them succeed as well. Because I'm already on that path alongside with the help of my dad. I want to help that young generation, that next generation, achieve that success for themselves as well.
My man. Thank you. That's a beautiful thing. It's looking out for the next guy. I love that, dude. Hey man, how can everybody connect with you? Where do they go? How can they listen to your podcast? If they're interested in starting the $100 a month, uh, how can they connect with you?
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you're allowing me to do that. So you can connect with me on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. It's my name, Saahil Baxi. Nothing too complicated. And I would appreciate anyone who has a story for my podcast. I appreciate anyone who has a story, anyone who has knowledge and insights that they think they can share with the young generation. I'd be more than happy to, have you on. I've recently been posting reels on both LinkedIn and Facebook, to kind of just create some highlights and, golden nugget reels to kind of just spread it out, get as much word out as possible, but also just for people to kind of learn something new. Just something so small, and they're only like 20 to 30-second clips. Just those 20 to 30-second clips, they can learn something new through that. So that's what I've been doing recently, and of course, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. I'm happy to connect.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man. As I get better at setting up everything with these podcasts, I'm gonna make sure all the links are there. So when this video is out, whenever that is, I will make sure that the links are there as best as I can. I'm still figuring out all of the technological stuff, but I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it, dude. So
Absolutely.
thank you so much, brother. It has been such a pleasure, and I can't wait to do this again with you in the future.
Of course. Thank you so much, Max. I really, really appreciate you for, having me on here. It's such an honor. I'm glad that, we could help support each other. Like you're on my podcast and I'm on your podcast. I'm glad that we are here to support each other. You're an amazing man, and I love what you're doing here. I love this
Thank you.
entire theme of the podcast, and I hope, I know it's going to really, really touch the audience's hearts with this one.
Thank you, dude. That is extremely kind. That's awesome. Thank you so much, brother. That's very inspiring.
Of course.
Well, I will catch you later, man. You got luck,
Awesome.
dude. Bye bye.